mate standing there laughing. Fuck off over there.
What's happening, everyone? Nicky Hawkins here, West Ham Fan TV, on the way to Old Trafford. Before I start, I just got to say this video is sponsored by the OneFootball app. To download all the OneFootball app for all the news, stats, facts, and all the good stuff about football. Please check out the link in the description down below. It helps us really gratefully. But on the way to Old Trafford, of course, one stat that I found out over the last couple of days, and I didn't even realise this, and I've been to most of these games, we've only scored one away goal in 2019, and that was from the penalty spot, and that was a Mark Noble penalty. We've got to improve on that today. Going up there, am I confident? Well, I wouldn't say I was confident, but there were signs against Chelsea that that it may improve a little bit. Second half was much better. First half was really poor as we've been away from home. Chelsea weren't great either, to be quite honest with you, but they've got one player there, Eden Hazard, that absolutely is the difference between them and other teams. Let me just change this view for you. There you go. So the OneFootball app is gone. Yeah, so Eden Hazard was the difference the other day. The thing we've got to do against Man United, now Man United have got a oh, the camera's a bit wobbly. Man United have got a massive game in midweek against Barcelona. They're 1-0 down. They've got to go to the Nou Camp. They've got quite a few injuries as well, which is not going to help their cause. But you know, they're a good team under Ole Solskjaer. I think they've won 15 of the 21 games they've played underneath him. We beat them obviously earlier on in the season 3-1. But they're a much improved team. They're a different team. They've got players playing, and to be in with any chance, what we've got to do, we've got to start well. We've got to start really well. Try and keep them from scoring within the first 20, and actually sort of like give them a few problems, give them something to think about in terms of going forward. Now, how do we do that? Because obviously Chicharito the other night, you saw him isolated, couldn't get a kick of the ball really. Arnie, on the other hand, was completely different. He was back to his old ways, and in the second half he caused them a few problems. He got the best of Rudiger on a few occasions, which gives you a little bit of hope going up there. Now, we know they've got players that can damage us. We know they've got the likes of Lukaku, who loves playing against. I don't know where I am here. I've got to get onto the M25. They've got the likes of Lukaku that can damage us, of course. Pogba's been playing well, but there's little rumours today that he's having his head turned and he's going to Real Madrid at the end of the season, and that's reportedly affected his form. But they've got the likes of Rashford. There's loads of players that that can cause us all sorts of problems. So we need to start well. If we get a goal, it might be an interesting game. If we get the first goal, it might be an interesting game. The last time we played him, of course, Felipe Anderson was on fire. He hasn't done much this year from the turn of the year, so he needs to really step up his game. The last good game he had was in December against Southampton, so he's really got to be the catalyst today. But I don't know, like, weirdly, and I know this is going to come back to bite me in the arse, I'm confident that we're going to go up there and get a point. I'm not going to say we're going to win, but I'm confident we're going to go up there and get the point. They're going to have their focus on the Champions League quarterfinals, but obviously they're still fighting for top four. A few months ago when we played them, they weren't fighting for top four, and that's where I think under Mourinho they was a waning force. But we'll see. Gal, what? My brother Gary's with me. I'm the only one here today. I'm
always here, so I'm always here to the end, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so Gary's here with me today. What do you think? I don't know whether they can hear you. You might have to take the microphone off me.
I think we'll win 2-0.
All right. It's a bit tangled up, so don't speak right into it because
they depends what West Ham turns up today.
I'd say my heart would say we'll win 2-1, but my head's saying they're going to beat us 3-1 or something like that. No, we got to score sooner or later, didn't we? When was the last time we didn't even score against Chelsea? Did we score against Everton?
No.
That's what I'm saying. That's 2 games on a spin, so we're due a goal somehow. And if we're going to make a change today, I'll drop Lanzini to and bring Nasri in if Nasri's fit.
I don't think he's fit.
Ain't he?
No.
That's that fuck then. Yeah, I'll start Lanzini. Well, let's hope they put a bit of better performance in than they did against Everton and Chelsea.
Yeah. All right then, we'll catch up with you later. We're going to drive up there now. We'll catch up there with you when we're a bit closer to Manchester. We'll have a little chat about the season so far, what we've got left, how many points we can expect to get, and all that stuff. But one thing left to say, Gal, you got to do it for me because I'm driving. Come on, you
Irons.